Hey, this is Kaare, rhymes with Atari, Andrews. I got some questions for the AWA newsletter that I'm gonna answer. They asked me to record them on my smartphone. So here we go. The email goes, "Hi Kaare, I hope you're doing well. I'm reaching out to see if you would be willing to answer a few questions for our creator corner section in the AWA newsletter. We're highlighting one creator each week in our newsletter, and we'd love if you could record a quick smartphone video, asking you shall receive, or write responses, too much work, answering a few of the below questions." Sure, no problem. Here we go. Start by talking briefly about E-RATIC. E-RATIC is a new comic book that I'm writing and drawing and trying some new things, and throwing it out into the world. We'll see what happens. What was your inspiration for the project? My inspiration for the project was, I wanted to make a comic book that I might like reading as a kid, or something my kids could read. It's not necessarily a young reader's comic, but it's a comic book that I think that could be read by younger readers, just like I would read Spider-Man comics as a kid. Not necessarily specifically for kids, but you could do it. There's a lot to enjoy, and I wanted to design a costume that you might want to wear for Halloween. I wanted a character that could do cool things in a costume that you might want to wear, and I wanted it to be friendly for kids, not to kids, but friendly for kids. When I was first trying to break in, there was this whole movement in comic books, and it was like they wanted to prove to the world that comic books could also be for grown-ups. There was this whole desire to really do adult books and adult stories and prove we're not just kid. It was embarrassing to read comic books when you were a grown-up back then. And the public perception was that you were a weirdo, basically. But comics were amazing back then. Amazing art, amazing stories. But there was a real drive to let's prove that this could be adult content. Let's prove that adults can read comic books too. Well, congratulations. That's all that comic books are anymore in many ways. But it's no accident that Dogman is actually the highest grossing comic book of the past 2 years. It's a book my kids read. And, comic books have left kids, and I wanted a book that could both be enjoyed by adults and kids. A comic book I would enjoy reading as a kid, a comic book I read as an adult. One that has new things to say in this space we all know. The cool thing about high school, this is a long, apologize for anyone who has to transcribe my answers. The cool thing about high school comic books is every adult has been to high school. Well, almost every adult. And every child will go to high school. Well, almost every child. So it's a shared experience. And, that's where you that's where you transition from being a kid to being a man. That's really what high school is all about. So, I wanted to write that in a book. I wanted familiar kinds of characters, but I wanted characters you haven't seen before. I want to try new things. There are that space. There hasn't been a new version of that space in a while, and I wanted to try to do a new version of that space, that teen superhero space. Whether or not it succeeded or not, I don't know, we'll see. But my inspirations, the other question is, what artists or writers do you draw inspiration from? Well, everybody. I will steal from everybody. In particular, I wanted a bit of an animated feel to this. I wanted a bit of I wanted to be able to draw eyes from people that enjoyed animation back into comic books. So I'm trying some weird things with backgrounds. I'm trying to do some more kind of animation style painted kind of backgrounds, but with traditional comic book line art. It's a bit of an experiment. I like to try new things, so that's what I'm trying art wise. What are the themes you explore in the comic? Well, I talked a little bit about that. The shared experience of high school, transitioning from being a boy to a man. That's something we haven't actually talked about in comic books a lot. It's, I've got two little guys and a little girl, and it's that journey specifically from boy to manhood is one that hasn't been told in a while, I don't think, at least in this way. So, it's a comic book for everyone, but that's the specificity of the journey of our main character. And what does that mean? He's a kid who grew up with divorced parents, divorced they were young. His dad's out of the picture completely. We'll find out later why. He's trying to figure out what it's all about. He's got these things he can do that no one else can do, but he can only do it for 10 minutes a day. So it's unlimited potential in brief, short spurts, kind of like a really bad cell phone. Every day it's got to recharge, and then you get 10 minutes of juice. That's the deal. Okay, then pick two questions from this list. Oh my goodness, I'm going to pick them in real time. I'm going to give you some insight into the deranged questions you must answer when you take part in these projects. Let's see here. These horrible people sending me these horrible questions, trying to trap me in horrible answers. It's a trap. Question 1. What excites you most about the future of comics right now? Oh, goodness. Let's start with the easy one, I guess. The future of comics right now is, what is it? Who knows? Comic books is in flux. It's in chaos. The world of comic books is on fire, and people are running out of houses, and it's turmoil and chaos. And do you know what excites me about the future of comic books right now? Is that the status quo is being destroyed. And anytime that happens, it's like the forest fire before the new trees shoot up through the fertilized soil. Like those forest fires happen because it enriches the soil for the new trees to grow. So let's see what happens, man. Comic books have been around for a long time. You can destroy companies, you can destroy people, you can destroy characters, but you cannot destroy the medium. And let's see what happens next. And let's see if there's a place in it for E-RATIC. What is your favorite comic book of all time? Well, another easy question. There's a bazillion. I love every comic book. Some of my favorites are G.I. Joe number 21, the silent issue. Nick Fury of Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. from the 60s by Jim Steranko. Dark Knight, Frank Miller. Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man. There's just so many. Come on, that's nothing. Come on. Trying to trap me with these questions. What is your favorite comic turned film or TV project of all time? Oh, none of them. Let me tell you the truth here. That's not true. I do have one. It is the Ralph Bakshi Spider-Man from the 60s. That series as a kid. I watched the series before I read the comic book, and that was the gateway. That was the gateway to the gateway drug to the comic. So that's true. However, let me just rant for a second on right now the state of comic book movies and TV shows. Like, Google any of your favorite characters in Google image search and just see what pops up. Is it a character, or is it an actor from an iteration? I think that these movies, these TV shows, have tried to steal our fire, and it's worked. They've they've been hugely successful because they've stolen the magic or attempted to steal the magic from comic books. But you can only do that for so long before you realize that the spark of life exists in another medium that is not film and is not television and is not so easily destroyed. You can trick people for a while, but once you realize that these other iterations in other mediums are just stealing their essence from something else, you seek out where that essence, you seek out where that's coming from, and it's comic books, my friend. It's comic books. Comic books are low cost to make, incredibly creative, and that's the juice. That's the real juice. That's the magic. Okay, let's go. Let's go. What's next? I'm going to answer all these things. What is your new favorite comic book of the last 10 years? Oh, God. I can't do this. E-RATIC. Boom. Boom. I hope you'll agree. If you could have any superpower, what would it be? There was this Spider-Man has always been my favorite character. I love the idea of being able to flip and swing around from city to city, jumping around, flipping around, swinging. Like, that's cool. Like, kind of gymnastic type abilities have always been more of my, like, I think it's because I could see myself maybe doing them. But really what I love best about that character is he tries hard to do the right thing and he messes up. And then he keeps trying to do the right thing. Like, it's so relatable that quality of real heroics is, you're trying. Life is a battle, and you're trying to do the right thing, trying to be a good person, and it doesn't always work out. Like, it just doesn't. You mess up, you fall on your face, you hurt people you love, but you pick yourself up and you keep going. Fall down 8, stand up 9. That is to me the greatest superpower of all time. We all have a bit of that inside us, and that is something I would like to see more of in this world. Just stand up. Don't ask for help. Stand yourself up. You fell. Stand yourself up. That's what the answer is. Okay, here we go. What genres of comics are missing or underrepresented? I think I've kind of answered that. Like, the erratic style right now is kind of, I feel there's a hole. There's a hole in the marketplace for kind of a comic book that is not just for kids and it's not just for grown-ups. And I should have recorded this on a real camera. I have real cameras. I direct movies. I have real cameras in the studio. It's a kind of all ages comic book, and not all ages like, hey, it's Pixar all ages, or hey, it's Paddington Bear or whatever. I mean just like a book that could be enjoyed by a kid and could be enjoyed by a grown-up. Not one that is trying to be a watered down empty vessel that can just be exploited for the marketplace, but one that just actually works for both groups. That's what I'm interested in with E-RATIC. What have you been watching recently? What? Come on. What's going on here? This is ridiculous. I am binge watching Dexter right at the moment, season 2, and it is so refreshing. It is so refreshing to hear foul-mouthed characters acting like real people, and not so concerned with anything other than just being interesting characters. What's your favorite movie of all time? What is this? Come on. Jeez, what is my favorite movie of all time? I can't. Come on. I have 1,000 different answers for this. Let's go. The first Terminator. The first Terminator is an accidental, archetypal excellence in storytelling. You have a innocent young waitress who is targeted for death by a killer from the future by fate itself. And she is rescued by a warrior also from the future, by the promise of better things ahead. He impregnates her, gives her meaning and purpose, and she will save humanity by protecting the child inside her. And that man dies the archetypal warrior death of protecting his own child by facing the dark fate. And by sacrificing his life, he saves the life of his child and the woman he loves. And then it's not enough, but that's not enough. She ultimately has to protect her baby and humanity itself from the cold, robotic, inhumane fate that could lie ahead. Now, you cannot tell me there is a more archetypal film of mankind ever made. And I think it was by accident. You grow up, you couple up, you get those kids, get a kid, you protect it. Even if it means you're sacrificing yourself. And by protecting your child, protecting your future, it's more important than your own life. And that's meaning, that's purpose, that's the human life. And that kid that you protect is going to save the world. That's come on now. That's one of them. I could give more, but come on. I have to draw. Let's see. What is your favorite album of all time? Oh, all these favorites of all time. This is like such extreme questions. So, like, what is the best thing you've ever eaten in your life? What is the favorite shirt you ever? Come on, no one wants to know this stuff. My favorite album of all time. I don't know. Let me tell you. My good friends Tegan and Sarah just released some new stuff. Go check them out. Two truths and a lie. No. All truth. I'm not interested in lies. And those truths are just things you shouldn't talk about, things you should just try to do. Can I have simpler questions? What is the meaning of life? Does that on here? Oh, here. What is your artistic process? My artistic process is to face risk, is to look for things other people aren't doing, is to go against the crowd, go against the grain. If you find yourself echoing the thoughts of everyone around you, maybe you should get out. Maybe you should run away and figure things out for yourself. That's my artistic process. And I'm always changing things. I'm always trying things, and I often fail, and I try to get up again and try to find some see if I have new things to say and try new things, new approaches, new techniques. I'm always trying new things, and we only got this one life, man. It's like, who knows when it's going to end. It could be before you watch this video. I could be hit by a truck or some other, eaten by an alligator. So just don't throw yourself at life. Get into it. Just do it. Try not to overthink things, and look for this idea of truth in what you're doing. Figure out what that means for you. Even though real truth is shared, it's the thing that actually connects us. So you may say you have your truth and they have their truth, and etc. But those are not actually truths, then, are they? So what is the shared truth? Like, how do you connect to the shared truth of the universe and each other? Like, to me, that's what it's all about, right? So always interested in that. Okay, here we go. Last question. What do you do when you aren't working at comics? Try to be a dad? I also direct some film and some TV. I do a lot of that. And what else do I do? I'm trying to teach myself how to box alone through YouTube videos. It's pretty fun. What else? Started gardening over the lockdown. I built myself some cedar garden beds to grow my future. You know, just trying to be a good dad. That's be a good husband. Trying. Fall on my face a lot. Fall down 8, stand up 9. Peace and love. Is that it? Oh my goodness, I ruined it. Answers only need to be 1 to 3 sentences long per question. I've recorded for 20 minutes. Who's going to transcribe this? Good luck. Bye, E-RATIC. Check it out. You might like it.